Welcome to Lecture 2 in Marketing Management. In this lecture, we will focus on discussing how to conduct a situational analysis. This is very important for marketing planning, so we'll link this lecture to part 8 and 9 of your textbook. In the previous lecture, we discussed that there are two components of the marketing environment, which are macro environment and the micro environment. Conducting a situation analysis of the environment is very important in marketing and planning. So managers can use different tools, and we will try to discuss the most important tools to analyze internal and external environment and identify the capabilities and the customers and competitors and the business environment of the company. So situation analysis is a study that will collect data about past, present, and identify the trends and the forces and the conditions potentially will affect the performance of the business, and to choose appropriate strategies that will face these situation action. So we have to link between this analysis of the situation to the strategy as a whole of the marketing. So in the 5 C's analysis, we will get information about the internal, macro, and the micro environmental factors within our environment. The 5 C's are the company, competitors, customers, collaborators, and the climate. The company analysis will focus on the internal factors, including strategies, objectives, structures, also the capabilities of the organization and the resources that they own. These internal factors actually will help the organization to link these factors with external factors to be able to increase the capabilities and focus on development of the weakness inside the organization. Then we will have to analyze our competitors because our competitors actually is important in our competition and our ability to continue in the market. So we need to analyze both the current and the potential nature and capabilities of our competitors to be prepared to compete against them. Also, we need to analyze their performance in financial performance and marketing performance. We need to include in our analysis what are the strengths and the weaknesses of competitors and anticipate their response to the company marketing strategy. Also analyze the growth and investment plans of our competitors. The customers analysis is very important, and we can do that by different ways, like best analysis, but we can include in the analysis the demographics of our customers, the market size and the potential growth, the customer wants and the needs, how can we motivate our customers by our products, the values that can be get from our products, distribution channels, the quality and the quantity of purchases, items, income level of customers. When considering collaborators in our analysis, we need to focus on different information. We need to have information about our collaborators, which are agencies, suppliers, distributors, partnerships with different companies. So we need to identify whether our collaborators has the capabilities needed to help to run the business, as well as the analysis of the level of commitment by these collaborators in our relationships. The climate analysis, we need to understand the business climate. This business climates actually include different factors. These factors could be political and regulatory environmental factors, economic environment, social and cultural environment, technological environment, and the legal environment. Pest analysis is a tool that we can use for macro environmental analysis, and it is a four factors tool: political factors, economic factors, social factors, and then technological factors. And as we know that the company has less control over the macro environmental factors, but the least factors that can be controlled is economic factors. The same as pest analysis, there is a pestle analysis which include 6 factors. Political factors include government types, policies, government stabilities, trade regulations, taxation policies, and employment policies. Economic factors include inflation and interest rates, labor and energy costs, growth rate, customer liquidation, recession, and booming. So it is about economic stability actually. Social factors are age distribution, education level, income level. Also include the cultural value, religions. Technological factors include emerging technologies, internet, information and communication technology, e-marketing, e-commerce. When it comes to the environmental factors, it includes the competitive advantage of the country, energy consumption, pollution monitoring, weather, ethical issues, pollution, waste, and recycling in the country. Finally, the legal factors include regulations and standards of health and safety, unemployment law, advertising regulations, product labeling, labor laws. Another famous tool that we can use in the situation analysis is SWOT analysis. And in SWOT analysis, we can examine our strengths and weakness, which related to internal environment, and also we can analyze opportunities and the threats within the market, which is related to the external environment. So the SWOT analysis will focus on current and future situation. The goal is to build on strengths as much as possible to strengthen the company capabilities, and also to reduce the weakness of the company. At the same time, when looking at the external environment, we need to identify the opportunities to capitalize in, and also we need to identify the threats to overcome them. When we look at the component of SWOT analysis, we can find that the strength is actually related to characteristics that have advantage over competitors. While on the other side, the internal characteristics that place the business at a disadvantage against competitors. These are weakness. Examples of these internal factors could be the resources of the organization, like human resources, skills, profit, performance of the organization, ability of the organization to expand their business over the market. Also, could be the reputation of the organization and their products. Also, it could be related to the ability of the organization to create new products and innovate new ideas. The opportunities come from the external chances that will enable the company to improve performance and the business environment. Also, it could be threats for the organization when these elements of the external factors cause trouble for the business and organization. Threats could be from different external factors. For example, if you have emerging competitors, you have a change in regulations in the environment, change في الculture, negative press media coverage, changing in customer attitudes toward your company and the products. These are all could cause threats for the organization. Porter 5 forces analysis. This analysis actually is a method for industry analysis and the business strategy development. So it can be used for analyzing competition of a business by focusing on these factors in the micro environment. It draws from industrial organization economics to derive 5 forces that will determine the competition of the industry by identifying the attractiveness or the lack of attractiveness of an industry. So it focuses on the profitability of the industry. The 5 force analysis is based on 5 factors. First, the bargain power of supplier, threat of substitutes, bargain power of buyers, the threat of new entrants, and then the industry rivalry. The first force in this model is the threat of new entrants. Actually, profitable markets with high profit will attract new firms to enter this market, and as a result, this will decrease the profitability for all the firms in the industry, unless officials and the government, for example, put barriers, or the companies in the market put barriers. For example, they can block the new entrants by regulations, or the new market could be non-accessible market because of the fixed cost, and the capital is very big to establish the business. Also, the economies of scale means to be profitable in this market, you have to produce and sell big size of products. For example, also, if there is product differentiation, you cannot differentiate your product from the current products in the market. The second force is the bargain power of buyers, and this happens when the customer has the ability to put the company under pressure, and this will affect the customer sensitivity to price changes. For example, buyers switching cost can affect the power of buyers. Buyers information availability, availability of existing substitute products, buyer price sensitivity. All these factors can make the customers having more power or less power on the companies. The bargain power of suppliers can be another force because suppliers supply different types of raw materials, components, and services for the company. So they also has a type of power over the firm. So suppliers may refuse, for example, to work with the firm or increase prices for the unique supplies and resources. When there are few substitutes and the cost of switching suppliers is high, the degree of differentiation of inputs is high, then the bargain power of suppliers will be high. Threat of substitutes when the customers has the ability to switch to other product and service substitutes. This means that the substitutes are able to satisfy the same needs of customers. If there are substitutes that are many, accessible, cheaper, or better in quality or prices, then the customers will switch directly from the company products and services to substitutes. For example, customers can switch from eating fish to eating meat, or using cell phones instead of landline phones. The final factor or force is the competitive rivalry. This is based on intensity of the competition between the current companies in the market, and this is a major determinant of the competitiveness of the industry. For example, some companies can use competitive advantage to compete. Also, they can use new technologies like online business instead of offline business. And there are some strategies. So companies can use low-cost strategy versus differentiation strategy, or focus on segment of the market based on Porter competitive strategies. This is the end of our lecture. Thank you very much. In the next lecture, we will discuss how to develop a marketing plan from A to Z.